Confidence family as e dey hot e don happen o. Finally I don see person wey write the manifesto give baba because the way this man take dey explain this manifesto so e no be like the way baba take explain am yesterday wey he unveil their manifesto, because when baba dey unveil am at least take dey unveil am na this person dey talk, he dey talk like say everything dey inside him head. Na make I say na this person write this manifesto give baba, because if na baba that time by himself he no suppose dey explain am yesterday the way he take explain am, and this one now he no look book. E come like say everything wey dey that manifesto dey him head, because the way he take dey talk am he no dey look book, he no dey explain everything. After you know say na this person Keyamo na write this thing give baba. Yes na, when I watch the video, if na watch am una go know wetin I dey try explain, so una go know say yes, this thing no come outside from baba head, na this man that I give am, because this one dey explain everything, dey break am down, dey give this interviewer, and he come still talk inside this manifesto say Tinubu go give lis ten ing ear to all of us, and baba never give lis ten ing ear to all these press people wey dey grant the interview. He never give the lis ten ing ear, and he say he go give us lis ten ing ear. Hey, I laugh at the lis ten ing ear. Man, let's talk too much. Make una watch am. As una watch am finish, I go still come after the video end, once he break down this thing wey this man talk. So I'll still talk my whole thing for this video. So when I watch am, and please don't forget to share this video. When I see who write manifesto give baba, when I watch.
Who is the brain, or who are the brains behind this document?
It's a document that has the input of various stakeholders of our party, but then it actually reflects the vision, the aspirations, and the intentions of our presidential flag bearer, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Specifically, so that we can just get something particular from this. Which do we hold on to? The statement he made at the Arawa Joint Committee that he would prioritize and essentially give top priority to state police, or the words of this document that just loosely speaks about decentralization? Which one do we hold on to?
Well, both are virtually saying the same thing. And if he says that, what he said at the Arawa, forum, is virtually the same thing, because if you want to also do state police about decentralization of powers too. So therefore, when a candidate tells you that he will, lead the way, it's also an indication that he will also be in consultation with other levels of government and other, branches of government that have the constitutional powers, to carry out such functions. But then don't forget too that the issue of security in this document goes beyond that. There are more fundamental issues regarding security that he talks about in this document. For instance, he talks about raising a battalion to tackle terrorism. Because terrorism is just an emerging threat in our nation. The type of terrorism we are witnessing now, we have not witnessed it before. When we came in 2015, the type of threat that faced the nation was the threat of Boko Haram. And so as that threat begins to diminish, other threats are emerging, kidnappings and terrorism in other parts of the country. And so that, of course, you would know that is what he will turn his attention to.
Right.
Now he talks about raising a battalion for terrorism, well-equipped, well-trained, highly mobile, and highly motivated too, to tackle terrorism in particular and kidnapping. Now, that is an innovation in this document.
Right.
That he has mentioned. So there are more profound issues in this document regarding security.
Okay,
he
we'll
also
explore
talks about
that, senior advocate.
Aerial
just
power.
so we're sure what to expect, are you saying that he will prioritize state police? Just so we get on with that and move on to other things. Will he prioritize state police?
It is an admixture of what is this document and the sound bites you have heard from him before.
Okay. So is that yes or no? Will he prioritize
what is in this
police?
document and what he has said before? He will prioritize consultation with other levels of government on that issue. He will prioritize consultations.
All right. So I mean, at least we get your point on that. But let's talk about that anti-terrorism battalion. And yes, it's in that document. In fact, It speaks about improving salaries just right next to that, and the welfare of security operatives, essentially. And the question now will be, where will the funds come from? And let me give you a background, really. So we're planning to spend about 13% of our budget on defense in the coming year, 2.74 trillion. In this current year, we're spending 2.29 trillion. For next year's budget, we're looking at a 10 trillion naira deficit. For this year's budget, we're looking at close to 7 trillion naira deficit. So clearly, the gap is widening. And if you're in this government, you know how difficult it has been to raise revenue. So where will the funds come from?
Well, you've asked a very important question, and this question cuts across the entire, gamut of the document. Now, raising revenues is a very profound issue that he talks about throughout the length and breadth of this document. One, he talks about diversifying the economy, because our economy over the years has been a mono economy. It has been an economy that is based purely and mostly, on oil revenues. But then we have begun to see changes now, even with the Buhari administration, where agriculture contributed about 24% to our latest GDP. And of course, it continues to grow. Now, he talks about expanding that front of our earnings. He also talks about tax reforms in the sense that, he's not going to increase taxes. And so this document protects the poor in the sense that it says when you have an economy that's facing challenges, it is counterproductive to actually increase taxes. What he wants to do is to use technology and also other forms of effective, collection system to collect what we are even entitled to in the first place. Because you see, the problem with taxes is that you think that, many governments in the past have always rushed, to increase taxes when we are faced with shortfalls of revenue, whereas we are not even collecting what is due to government. So what we need to do, like he did in Lagos, when he raised the revenues of Lagos from about 700 million per month to about, right now, about 51 billion, is that he just opened up other vistas where they were not collecting taxes. And by opening such fronts and plugging leakages here and there, he raised the revenues of Lagos State. That is the kind of deftness he wants to bring to the presidency. And of course, he talks about blocking the leakages in terms of oil theft.
If these ideas, solutions are viable, why are they not being put into use for this administration?
No, it's very simple, because some of these things you need to lay the foundation first before you now begin, because at times broad-based reforms, at times, without, taking into cognizance the multiplier effects and the time it takes to implement these reforms should be taken into consideration. For instance, why do I talk about broad-based reforms? I was going to talk about the phased removal of subsidy. All along, this government had known for more than 2-3 years that subsidy has to go. But then, did you expect the Buhari administration to remove the rug under the feet of Nigerians, in one fell swoop? So these are things that are going to be gradually implemented. Now, you also talk about why is this government not doing it? Well, this government is doing it already. Asiwaju is only going to ramp up efforts and take it to the next level. I talked about agriculture, for instance. Agriculture is contributing about 24% to our GDP now. Now, that has never happened before. In terms of our non-oil exports, yam, cocoa, and all of that now, they have gone up significantly. So this government has started raising revenues outside oil. What this document now says is that it's going to redouble those efforts. If you look at the preamble of this document, there's one phrase that was used significantly there by Asiwaju. He said, standing on the foundation laid by this government.
So I don't watch the video and I get one advice for Tinubu. Tinubu, this advice now for you. Not be to bring manifesto to show the people, but now for the people to trust you. That be the main issue now for this matter. And this word now Peter Obi talking, and this advice now for you. Not be to send your spokesman come outside to go and read manifesto for us. because the way you dey read your own yesterday, you dey read am like say na novel you dey read, dey flip book. But when your spokesman come outside now, wey dey call am Keyamo, he even dey deliver pass you wey be the presidential candidate. He dey talk everything from him head, not be from any book even sef. Na make I dey say this manifesto so I no trust am. And this manifesto now e be like super story, because e be like say you dey read novel give us. You see the way Keyamo take explain everything. You never even open the book once. I make I say now you need make these people trust you. You need to come outside now, talk like Keyamo. Talk like am. Talk from your head, not be from the book, not read from book. Because people dey complain now say everything dey do na from book. I make I play this Keyamo video give una now una watch am. Because see the way Keyamo take explain everything, and the book dey handle e no open am once. But if na Baba come outside now want talk this thing now, because when he unveil this manifesto, he dey read everything come outside like say na super story. I make I get this advice for Baba. And please share this video, and if you are new to my page, please follow my page.